April's brain finally started working and she began to figure out what she needed to do before things got a whole lot worse. Chapter 2. At the sound of the glass front door swinging open, Jonah Wolfe looked up to see a tall, leggy redhead walk into the office. "I hope she's looking for me." Jason Maddox, one of the country's top bail enforcement agents and one of Jonah's best friends, had an eye for beautiful women. This one definitely met Jace's exacting standards. But being a former undercover police officer, Jonah noticed more than her stunning face and figure. Her hands were shaking as she approached the receptionist desk, and her face was pale. He wondered what kind of trouble the lady was in. "May I help you?" The receptionist, Mindy Stewart, removed the half-reading glasses perched on the end of a pert nose and smiled. She was petite and cute and smart enough not to date any of the confirmed bachelors who worked at maximum security. "My name is April Vale. I'm looking for Jonah Wolfe." When Maddox groaned his disappointment, Jonah's focus sharpened on the redhead. "Do you have an appointment, Miss Vale?" Mindy asked politely. "I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't, but it's extremely urgent. If Mr. Wolfe is in, please, I really need to speak to him." The redhead glanced his way as Jonah rose from behind his desk and started walking toward the front of the office. A waiting area with a dark red tufted leather sofa and matching chairs, oak coffee and end tables, gave the place a Western feel that perfectly suited the misfit Texans who worked there. The men and women, all independent contractors, were an assortment of private investigators, bail enforcement agents, and personal security specialists. Only the best of the best were good enough to work for Chase Garrett at the max. "I'm Wolfe," he said when he reached her. "What can I do for you?" His gaze ran over her, taking in her spectacular curves. He couldn't help hoping she needed him for something far more intriguing than his skills as a private detective. He might have smiled, would have, if trouble wasn't stamped in the middle of the pretty lady's forehead. "My name is April Vale. Thank you for seeing me." "No need to thank me, Miss Vale. I haven't done anything yet." "I'm hoping you will." She had the face of an angel and legs that went on forever, but she was a redhead, and all that fiery hair just ramped up the warning signs flashing in her big blue eyes. She glanced around the office. 9 oak desks set in lines of 3 filled the open area they called the bullpen. Antique farming tools hung on the walls, along with framed photos taken at the ranch Chase owned with his 2 brothers, Reese and Brandon, out in the Texas Hill Country. "Is there somewhere we can speak in private?" April asked. "Conference room. Follow me." As he led her down the hall, she caught an appreciative glance from Jax Riker and Dante Romero, the only other guys currently in the office, but she didn't seem to notice. "This way." Jonah held open the door into a glass-enclosed chamber with a long oak table seating 20, and April walked inside. He closed the door, pulled out a brown leather chair near the end of the table, waited for her to take a seat, then sat down at the end of the table next to her, giving himself a little more legroom. April smoothed the navy blue pencil skirt she was wearing with a pair of sky-high heels and a short-sleeve peach blouse dotted with tiny blue sailboats. She looked good, classy, but not completely untouchable. "As I said, I appreciate your seeing me." Jonah leaned back in his chair. "How did you get my name?" "A friend recommended you. Madeline Townsend. She said the 2 of you went out a couple of times, but just didn't click. She said you introduced her to her husband, Ross." "Ross is a friend. He was also a private investigator. I'm glad they got together. Now, April, tell me why you're here." She took a deep breath, drawing his attention to the full breasts he'd been doing his best to ignore. Since he never mixed business with pleasure, he shoved the buzz of attraction he was feeling to the back corner of his brain. "I work for Mayor Rydell," April said. "As you probably know, he's up for re-election. I'm his marketing manager. Or I was. Currently, I was just released from police custody a short time ago, Mr. Wolfe. That's why I'm here." Jonah straightened in his chair. "You were under arrest?" "Officially, I haven't been charged yet, but the charge could be murder." Jesus, he hadn't seen that one coming. Now she really had his attention. "Who have you been accused of killing, Miss Vale?" For a moment, her eyes glistened with tears. One spilled onto her cheek, but she quickly wiped it away. "The police say I killed a man named David Dean. He was Mayor Rydell's campaign manager. If I did, I don't..."